On a cold November morning in Bellevue, Washington, 2-year-old Sky Metalwala mysteriously disappeared without explanation. His mother, Julia Birukova, claimed her car broke down suddenly, forcing her to leave Sky inside. Julia explained she left briefly to fetch gasoline, returning to discover her son completely gone. Investigators immediately questioned her decision to abandon a toddler alone in freezing temperatures. Suspicion grew as Julia's story contained inconsistencies, leaving police increasingly doubtful of her account. Volunteers gathered in droves, forming search parties, distributing flyers, and praying Sky would be found. Helicopters scanned treetops, while trained canine units tracked faint, unreliable scents that led nowhere. Hours turned into days, and days into weeks, yet not a single credible lead emerged. Julia's refusal to take a polygraph test fueled public suspicion and media scrutiny nationwide. Custody battles between Julia and Sky's father, Solomon, complicated the already fragile investigation further. Solomon accused Julia of paranoia and emotional instability, citing depression and obsessive household behaviors. Court records painted a troubling image of Julia's parenting, revealing strict, unhealthy control over children's lives. Friends described her imposing extreme diets, limiting food intake, and restricting freedoms inside the home. Investigators searched Julia's apartment, car, and belongings, hoping desperately for clues leading to Sky. To their shock, police discovered Julia's car was perfectly functional, not broken down at all. This revelation undermined her credibility, casting her entire version of events into deeper suspicion. Some speculated Sky may have been abducted by a stranger while Julia was away. Others wondered if Julia staged the disappearance to harm Solomon emotionally during custody disputes. Solomon appeared on television, pleading tearfully for Sky's safe return, his pain visible to all. Despite heartfelt appeals, no concrete evidence surfaced, and Sky's trail remained chillingly cold. Neighbors reported never seeing Sky that morning, further contradicting Julia's official story. Surveillance footage failed to confirm Julia's account, adding more inconsistencies for investigators to examine. Detectives followed numerous leads, but every potential trail ended in bitter disappointment. How could a toddler disappear completely without witnesses, noise, or physical evidence? Investigators focused repeatedly on Julia, last confirmed person to see Sky alive. Some theorized Sky never even entered the car that morning, contrary to Julia's claims. Without evidence, confession, or physical proof, prosecutors were unable to bring charges against her. Solomon's life revolved around searching for truth, his grief fueling relentless public awareness efforts. He plastered missing posters across Bellevue, organized vigils, and begged national media to cover Sky. Despite his tireless efforts, months passed without breakthroughs, leaving the case tragically stagnant. Julia withdrew from the public eye, refusing interviews and avoiding further law enforcement interaction. Her silence deepened suspicions. Fueling speculation, she concealed knowledge about her son's fate. Psychologists analyzed her behavior, suggesting narcissism, paranoia, and severe emotional instability as contributing factors. Some argued Julia loved Sky but cracked under stress of parenting and custody pressures. Others believed she used Sky's disappearance as an act of revenge against Solomon. Candlelight vigils honored Sky annually, communities gathering to keep his memory and name alive. Investigators admitted frustration, no new leads, no forensic evidence, no breakthroughs after exhaustive searches. Rumors circulated, some dark, others far-fetched, about what truly happened that fateful November morning. Julia later regained custody of her daughter, sparking outrage among those suspicious of her. Critics condemned the legal system for failing to protect vulnerable children from potential harm. Solomon contested court rulings, but his influence over his surviving child remained painfully limited. The case grew into one of Washington state's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. Podcasts and documentaries revisited the case, reigniting debates and public theories years later. Listeners dissected Julia's inconsistencies, examining her mental health and troubling decisions repeatedly. Why didn't investigators press Julia harder, demanding consistent answers and accountability? Could earlier warnings or interventions have prevented Sky's disappearance entirely? Friends remembered Sky as a bright, curious child with a contagious, joyful smile. They wondered what future he might have lived had tragedy not intervened. Families connected to the case carried deep scars, unable to heal without answers. Rumors of Sky sightings occasionally surfaced, yet none were ever verified. Detectives admitted privately that truth might remain hidden forever without new evidence. Some believed Julia carried a terrible secret she would never publicly reveal. Others theorized Sky died earlier, with his disappearance staged to mislead investigators. Solomon clung to fragile hope, refusing to abandon his son's memory despite despair. Hope was painful, but surrendering meant admitting Sky was gone forever, an unbearable thought. Investigators remained haunted, replaying evidence countless times, desperate for answers that never appeared. Sky's disappearance highlighted fragility of safety within fractured families and flawed legal protections. His story became a haunting symbol of secrecy, betrayal, and the weight of silence. Flyers, websites, and missing children campaigns continued displaying Sky's innocent, smiling face everywhere. Behind every photo was a father's desperate plea for truth and justice. Bellevue residents recalled sleepless nights, candlelit searches, and the sorrow that gripped their community. Conversations years later still circled around the haunting question: what really happened to Sky? Each theory, abduction, accident, revenge, carried devastating implications for the little boy's fate. Police encouraged public tips, hoping someone still held forgotten or hidden information. Old evidence was reviewed repeatedly, yet no breakthroughs or revelations ever surfaced. The case became a cautionary tale about secrecy, family conflict, and systemic failure. Julia's silence preserved suspicions, her choices haunting investigators and the public endlessly. Solomon's life became defined by endless searching, grieving, and speaking about Sky's legacy. Sky's story resonated beyond Bellevue, becoming a national discussion about children's safety. Advocates for missing children used his case to demand reforms and stronger protections. Each anniversary reopened wounds, reminding families and communities of loss without closure. Candlelight vigils flickered across Bellevue, honoring Sky's memory and keeping his name alive. Was Sky betrayed by his mother's lies or abducted by a stranger's cruelty? This uncertainty tore families apart, deepening scars that would never fully heal. Media coverage resurfaced periodically, reigniting emotions and debates about Sky's fate. Despite extensive publicity, investigators never uncovered resolution or closure. Sky's disappearance revealed chilling vulnerabilities in justice systems designed to safeguard children. Families nationwide demanded stronger reforms to prevent such tragedies from recurring. Yet the truth about Sky's disappearance remained hidden behind silence and lies. His case endured as a lasting symbol of betrayal, secrecy, and broken trust. Solomon continued speaking publicly, determined to preserve his son's memory against time. His voice carried unrelenting hope, grief, and love for the child he lost. Communities rallied annually, honoring Sky's life and demanding answers long overdue. Police officers confessed privately the case still haunted them deeply. The unanswered questions became shadows that lingered over Bellevue for more than a decade. Was it truly a tragic mistake, or deliberate act concealed through deception? Some believed Julia alone carried the hidden truth about Sky's disappearance. Others insisted his fate involved a tragic accident carefully hidden from discovery. Sky's name remains alive, symbolizing innocence lost, questions unanswered, and hope unbroken. Secrets, lies, and heartbreak continue haunting the confounding vanishing of Sky Metalwala.